YouTube, what up? We back. Finally on the JC again. Let's get to it. Alright, so I'm gonna get into showing you guys some of the stuff I got done on the JZ since the last video. But I got my ATI super damper on in, and let me try to install this today. Never installed a super damper. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, some stickers. Keep that. Instructions, definitely gonna need that. Because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing yet. Obviously this is the hardware. Let's see what we got in here. We got the hub. And pretty much just the balancer itself. Back side. Ideally, it goes something like that. So I'm kind of trying to figure out whether I want to put the hub on by itself first, or actually bolt the damper to the hub. But I guess once I get into the instructions, that'll kind of answer that question of what I do. Alright, so I'm reading through some of the instructions. I noticed one thing is, this is my hub assembly. If you notice right next to this one hole, there's a little dimple. That's the only one that's on. It's just a dimple here. And that dimple should line up with the dimple here, which is your offset hole. So this is where that should go. Alright, so I'm gonna start by making sure my hub is clean. This is the old bolt I had. I'll probably try to use this to draw it on. I got the hub assembly. I actually just put it in the oven. Put the oven on like 400 and put it in there. I'm trying to get it to expand a little bit. So while that's doing that, I'm going to inspect this crank snout. Make sure I don't feel any burrs or anything. My key looks like it's in good shape. Then I'm gonna clean it just to make sure it's clean. Alright, it seems to be pretty good. ATI's instructions also want you to put some anti-seize on the hub and snout. So I'm just going to put it on the snout while I'm here. I already put the engine. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter too much, but it is top dead center. Cool. Got that done. Let the hub heat up. Yeah, it's not much for instructions here. Honestly, what I got, like my installing damper onto the hub, inspect it for burrs, whatever, clean up, did that. Stone radius, the brake sharp edge, did that. Inspect my key, replace my keys good. Recommended use anti-seize on the crankshaft before hub installation. Bam, just did that. Press fit the hub onto the crankshaft. Press fit of the hub onto the crankshaft is vital to transfer harmonics to the damper assembly. And then you get to the next page and it's like recommended presses. So you got your measurements, some different stuff for GM. I have an aluminum hub, I believe. Actually, no, I think it's steel. Obviously, it tells you don't hone aluminum hubs. Obviously, I hear some people say with the ATI original, with ATIs, they have to hone the hub to get it to fit. So we're gonna see how that goes. But pretty much it doesn't tell you too much else. Obviously, they want you to use the ATI hub damper install tool. I don't have one, and I'm not gonna buy one. So I'm stuck with the regular way, trying to press it on. I got the old bolt. Like I said, I plan to try to use the old bolt to get it in. So I'm doing that. I'm gonna try to set something up on the flywheel to stop this thing from spinning, so I can actually get it on. So I got my hub out the oven. Got the old welding a little something. Hopefully this will be enough. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to slide on pretty decently. We'll see how this is gonna go. It already seems like it's gonna be a tough one. I don't even think the bolt is close enough to get on there. It is, but how much of this I want to risk. Going on pretty easy so far. Alright, seems like it bottomed out right there. Just to test this, nipple was right here at 3 o'clock. Should line up here. I want to try to press it on and see if it's pretty much where it needs to be. But I probably need to wait for it to cool down, but pretty sure that's about it. Because that's the face. Still got about an inch to go on. Oh yeah. That's it. So once you get the balancer on, she pretty much has like a positive stop, so I can't screw the bolt on anymore. Like, that's it. So it's pretty much bottomed out. I'm gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit, then I'll throw the actual damper on the hub. And then, like I said, this is the old bolt. I have a new bolt on the way, but I'll probably torque it. I think it's like 240-ish foot-pounds or something. I may torque it to like 200 or 180 or something, just like a preliminary torque, just to make sure it's on there. And I'll back that bolt out. And obviously, when I get the new bolt, torque it all the way down. All right, so I think this thing's decently enough. Now, I also went ahead and put a little anti-seize on the face of the hub. Again, like I said, I have my offset hole, my dimple here, and my dimples on this bolt. So pretty much 3 o'clock, so those will be going like this. Let's see. I'm gonna have to get my head in here a little bit. Pause. Bam, and it's on. I'm looking at it from the top, it lines up. Alright. And now I get some of both started. The main 6 bolts are it's like a T40 bolt, T40 torque bit. They'll go in the countersunk holes. You see, so 6 of those here. Then of course I have my 3 other bolts as well. They came already Loctited. And this is just me kind of starting. It says 16 foot-pounds, so that's what I'm gonna go for. Got my torque wrench already set. Then I have my remaining bolts, which is just the 3. I think these are if you like have some kind of interface that you bolt onto the front, like a supercharger pulley or some scavenger oil pump pulley or something that you attach to it. I think that's what these are for. According to the back of this, the cap head screws are 23 to 35 foot-pounds. And like I said, those screws are just used for if you're using like some kind of other pulley, like a dry sump or trigger system that you need to put the trigger wheel on. That's what those are for. So 28 to 32 foot-pounds, excuse me, 28 to 32 foot-pounds right there. So I'm gonna retorque those 3, make sure that's right. So you see, it wasn't that hard. I honestly expected a lot more challenge than that, but seemed to work fine. Everything's lined up perfectly. I'll show you guys. Like looking at it from the side, it's lined up perfectly with the rest of my accessory. So should be good to go. I'm gonna try to torque this down a little bit. It's gonna go like 150 foot-pounds. See what it does. I gotta get another torque wrench anyway. Mine only goes 150. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to torque that to 250, 240. Let me find out right quick. Bam, voila. I didn't know it actually told you on here. T40 bolts, 16 foot-pounds, and then 28 foot-pounds for the ferry cap bolts. But now that I got that done, I can actually talk about some of the stuff that's been updated and done with the 2J. Balance was one of the main parts I was waiting on, and fuel system stuff. So actually, I'll come over here. So for now, I was gonna do a dual pump system. Right now, I'm gonna start with a single. I'm still trying to figure it out. I may just end up doing a dual. So I just got a Walbro, the Hellcat, the 525 pump. This is the one with the check valve in it. Then I got the radium install kit that's allowed to fit in the bucket. Should catch this ridge right here of the E46. They also make one for the E46 M3, which I think is slightly different. But got this. I just went ahead and mounted it in there. It was sitting in there, something like that. Came with all the hardware, the clamps, the boot instructions, and then of course the radium kit also came with extra clamps, since I'm actually going to use the radium clamps because they look a little bit better than just those regular worm clamps. And instead of using the stock filter sock, I sprung for, I can't remember where I got this from, who makes this, but anyway, that's the part number for it. Stainless steel. Stand by, let me open this crap. So it's like an all stainless steel mesh filter sock. Should allow it to flow a little bit better. It's really nicely designed and made. I don't know why I said that like that. But that's the pump. So I mean, I should at least be able to get, you know, I would think, you know, 600 wheel at least on pump with this pump. I want to run flex in the E85, so I know if I do that, I'll end up needing more fuel pumps. So I'm debating on what to do. The E46 with the saddle style tank, I don't think it's a lot of room to fit that bucket in there. I'll look in a second. But fuel filter, I got this from Snake Eater Performance. That's where I also got my injectors from. Pretty much DECA style injectors, 150, 1500, excuse me, cc injectors. I forgot the microns of this filter, but it's a stainless steel filter. It's washable. So obviously it'll unscrew here. I can clean it. Came with fittings. I'm gonna be running a AN feed. I'm gonna do 8 AN return as well, just because it'll save me having to get multiple lines. And just looking at the 6 AN, it does look quite small, so we'll see. Typical eBay regulator. Got this from Clean Injection. I took it apart, looked at the diaphragm and all. It looks pretty good. So it was made for 2 8 AN ins and a 6 AN out. So I got the 8 AN in. Well, I'm gonna run the fuel straight to the rail first, and then from the rail to the regulator, and then just out instead of, I don't need to run two ends because, you know, single rail, don't really need that. Then I'm gonna run a 6 AN ORB to a 8 AN return. Then I can, like I say, return. I actually have my flex fuel sensor on the return side. That's what I plan to do. So that's pretty much fuel system I got. PTFE. I got PTFE dash 6 AN and 8 AN. I don't know why I keep wanting to say dash. I don't know, but 6 AN, 8 AN, PTFE hoses over there. I think I like 20 foot of each. So that's pretty much the fuel system. I may just order another one of these exact same pumps, and then I just figure out some way to mount it. That'll be the hard part, trying to figure out some way to mount it in that actual bucket. I gotta take it out and see. I've seen it before, but obviously seeing it on video is different. So you saw I just put the damper on. Damper is on. I'm debating between running an electric power steering pump or doing a Chase Bays kit to convert the this JZ pump. This was out of a Lexus GS 300. Convert that pump over to work with the rack, or I could use the BMW pump that's already in there and just have to figure out a way to mount it up to the 2J. But the steering in that thing actually seems kind of weak, so I think I'm gonna prefer to try to run this pump. Let's see. Front BC gears, you already saw that. You saw me time it, billet tensioner, Sequoia alternator, so I went with that. Obviously I had to modify it slightly, just cutting it, just had to cut it here to get it to fit. I may have to shim it here or there, but I mean, it looks like it's pretty in line right now, but pretty simple. The bottom bolt still fits, the nuts fits like normal, and you just have to trim that. I got the connections for it too. Drift motion return for the turbo. You see here my turbo drain, I just got like a 45 outlet into the 45 AN fitting, runs right down. I believe this is dash 10. If I'm not mistaken, it's the dash 10 yet. So that'll work. TDR mounts, saw those are old. I did start trying to do something with this downpipe. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna be in the car, so that's why I just left it there. Trying to get into TIG welding, so I tried to weld it up myself. I mean, it's not terrible in all spots, but it definitely isn't the best, so I may ready to do that. But again, I'm gonna coat it and wrap it anyway. It's just, like I said, this is for me practicing and learning. Cut off the square flange, weld it on the V-band here. I cut it here, so I kind of had to like bend it down and bend the circle pipe down to kind of like fit and weld it, so worked out pretty decent. Genuine Hitachi coils. Again, wiring is one thing I started working on, so coils are wired up. Got it separated by a Deutsch connector here. Same for my crank sensor. So this is the shielded wire, shielded pair for these. Same for the cam sensor. Wired up the VVTi solenoid. Let's see here. Injectors, they're wired up as well. Bosch style. So I got the Bosch style knock sensors. So you see those there. I replaced those. Comes with, I got a kit that came with the studs to let you mount it in there instead of the bolt. So both of those, they're wired up. Coolant temp sensor up here. That's wired up, coolant. That's what that means. Let's see, starters. This is a eBay starter I got. Got my block off plate from Drift Motion as well. Starter works. I've already turned it over, primed the engine that way actually. Let's see, what else? Chase Bay's thermostatic oil filter housing sandwich plate. That's where I'm gonna run my feed from. This is just a little filter I have. I kind of had to loop it back around this way just because I think I'm gonna have to run my cooler lines down here. I may redo this depending on how I end up running my lines or whatever, but for now, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm actually put this on this side of the VVTi solenoid oil supply, but I'll have these two running to my oil cooler. I have a pressure and temp sensor here. And then on this side, the Chase Bay's sandwich plate came with two 1/8 NTP ports on each side, so that's why I use this one for the feed, and then this one for, this will be for the sensor, pressure sensor, so I get my oil pressure and temperature from here. I'm trying to do it all in one sensor. Let's see here. Again, the typical old eBay deep motor intake. Still debating between running drive-by-wire, drive-by-cable. I actually wired up a drive-by-wire because that's what I was going for at first, and I'm kind of rethinking it. I think I'm just gonna do drive-by-cable. I think it'll be a little easier in the long run. Another fail point I can take out of the process as well. Made my feed line for the turbo. Again, that just runs down to what I showed here. Again, this is just a little filter here, pre-filter to run up there. Let's see, other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna have my breathers. I'm actually gonna run instead of a catch can, I'm gonna run 2 plugs to my actual exhaust, it's like a Venturi effect. So it should pretty much pull the, kind of like pull a vacuum almost from the breathers. So I'm gonna try that and see how that'll work. Might help eliminate some odors. Other than that, the car, I did start tearing into the car. I pretty much got all stripped. All the parts are still just sitting back here because I just took them out, but the rear seat's up, so the gas tank is there, where the pump will be. I'm just kind of waiting to tear into it too much because I'm not sure if I need to move this car again, which I guess I could actually still put the pump in and it should work. Rear, everything's been stripped. Still got to figure out the transmission issue or problem as far as sending it out to be converted to a Magnum style with the removable bell housing, because obviously I need the bell housing to work with the 2JZ. That's for a GM. Or trade that maybe for a CD09, something like that. I've been kind of looking for one. Trying to figure out the cheapest option right now. I don't really want to go lower than the CD09. So CD09 or either a T56. So other than that, it's pretty much it. It's pretty much like say ready to go in the car. I'm actually gonna try to get it running on the stand before I put it in the car. I actually ordered my ECU. I got the ECU Masters EMU Black, should be on the way. Like I said, all my wires are pretty much ran and just sitting back here waiting to be terminated. I kind of did it backwards. I did extra long length because I didn't pre-measure out. I wasn't exactly sure where I was gonna run everything, so I did it that way, and then I just trim as necessary to make it fit. Let's see, what else? What else do I need to do? I guess I'm gonna leave the AC condenser out for now, unless I can somehow get the BMW one to work. I don't think the AC condenser compressor works anyway. I think I'm gonna just run it like this with the front cover off. And yeah, I do have to get a mount. I was gonna make a mount to support the power steering pump. I know they sell those as well, but I just got a piece of stock aluminum that I'm just gonna cut this, just cut a long strip, and then I'll pretty much be able to use that as my mount. So from here, and I already got the bolt there. Other than that, it's pretty much it. Like, wired up with the ECU, got my fuel pump, got a regulator, got a filter, balancers on, got it started, it turns over. So, really there's not too much to do. I just need to finish up the exhaust stuff. Everything's taped off right now, so I don't even know if the turbo spins because it's still taped off here when I did run it or try to crank it. Not crank it, just prime it. So pretty much that's it. All I still have to do is set the final torque when I get my new bolt. But yeah, she's looking pretty good.